Hello. I wanted to talk about freedom today. It's a really strange concept because it brings with it certain responsibility, but also granting freedom means we surrender control, and we can never quite know what somebody is going to do with the freedom they've got when they've got it. Sometimes they behave very badly. I'm thinking when I lived in Greece, I remember somebody explaining to me the nature of the Greek flag. You know that flag with the blue and the white stripes. Eleftheria e thanatos, freedom or death is what it means. And that's a stark choice. But the freedom or life, which is what we face most of the time in our daily life and in politics, freedom or Zoe life, that's perhaps more difficult because there's so many varieties of freedom that we can embrace. There's a sort of Boris freedom, which is basically an alternative word for fear at the moment. He's terrified of causing offence, and of course he always will because that's his nature. There's sort of Nicola Sturgeon, the fear of telling the truth, trying desperately to control what is beyond control and trying to convince us all that she has policies and capabilities beyond that single issue of Indie Ref 2. And of course, I'm still waiting to meet her, as I was promised a meeting with her by Humza Yousaf, now the health minister, and long ago actually, and he's now, because I got embroiled in an issue where somebody had been had made a racist joke, and that seemed to me to be deeply unacceptable. And Humza and I chatted about that, and now his child is also the victim of racism, and this is in a school up in Dundee, and you would think that schools would be free of that sort of nonsense. But again, you give somebody the freedom to make their own decisions, and they seem to have decided that somebody with an Anglo-Saxon name should get priority over somebody with a name which maybe is less familiar to them. This seems to me to be completely wrong and completely irresponsible. And then we've got people like Mr. Putin. Mr. Putin, we can never seem to get away from him. Mr. Putin was on the telly last night, talking down. Don't you love talking down talking down to Mr. Putin? We should really do that a lot more. But Mr. Putin was talking about the Ukraine, and he was saying it's an artificial creation and a fluke of history that Russia even allowed it to exist. That's pretty terrifying language, isn't it? Really, so we get. Russia is saying, or Putin is saying, we gave you the freedom to exist. No, not really. The Russian nation itself emerges from Kiev. That's that's the origins of Russia, really, and certainly of orthodoxy. So Russia should be looking to the Ukraine for its existence, not the other way round. And then Putin's puppy. Belarusian president, oh my goodness, he needs some serious obedience classes if he's going to be let off the leash again. He needs to be given a strong diet of pedigree chum and put in a corner in isolation until he learns to come to heel. And if Mr. Putin isn't going to discipline his dog or give the dog obedience classes, then maybe Europe and the rest of the world should do it for him. And similarly with Iran. Sanctions, I think, don't really work. Sanctions seem to mean that we have sanction busting, where we go, where nations like Iran run around the place, hijacking tankers and attacking tankers in the Gulf near the UAE, and then expecting to get to leave some sort of concession out of that. No, there are standards. Oh, and on the subject of standards, my goodness, did you see the story about the Indian flag waver in the Olympics who was told to shut up for making a noise and was cheering on his own team? Well, what else are you going to do? You've got the freedom to be there. You should use that. And frankly, if there's not a crowd there, and there isn't at the moment, we want as much noise as we can get. I would have thought. I don't understand the Olympic Committee and barking orders. We've got other people that we should be barking orders to. Start with barking orders to Belarus president, and then go on from there. Look, do follow my follow my channel and ping the bell. Ping the bell. Have fun. Oh, and happy tea time.